Good morning, welcome back. Today we're looking at two different things. We're looking at journals and we're also going to take a look at placement agreements. Placement agreements are fairly quick, but many of you have placement projects. So I want to make sure we go over that. Placement project, remember if it's placement you get a paycheck. You get a paycheck, it's placement. So we're going to first start with agreements and then we will finish up with our journals. So over here under setup, we did an ownership agreement last week. And so today we are going to work on placement agreements. Go ahead and click on that. What you see here will pop up is a text, several text boxes. And we're going to start in and start filling these out. Remember, like the budgets, the agreements need to be done before your project starts. One of the things that this particular example is not going to make a lot of sense because I'm going to use the livestock broker enterprise. However, in your actual book, you would be using the project or the farmer that you work for. So if you're on a weeding crew, you're going to actually click down here, and one of these would be Soyce Farms or Staunton Farms, whoever you might work for that SAE project or during your summer times. So for today, we're going to leave it livestock broker so that I don't have to go back through here and set up another enterprise for now. Let's see here. So the agreement from date. This is when do you start working for this outfit or company, farmer, whoever it might be. I put in the date of our budget when we did everything else. Remember, this date has to be after this one. Remember, this has to be done before the project actually starts. So this is when the project actually starts. So we're going to say that we're going to start working for them after we get out of school, somewhere around June 15th. And we can say this agreement runs all the way through October 31st. That gives us enough time to make sure we make it through. If you go back in for any potato harvest work, you might have some time in there on weekends or whatnot. Your name, so I'm going to put my name in there. You're going to put yours, student name, business name or type. For this, you might put in the Boxview Ranch. Maybe you work for a Boxview Ranch. And that's going to be who you put in there. Who is the direct employer or trainer that you work under? Do you work under a supervisor, a foreman, somebody? Let's go ahead and add in here. Let's say that you work for Billy Bob. He is your supervisor, your trainer out of there at the Boxview Ranch. Wages, well, wages is your paycheck, right? How much are you earning in your wages? Most often you're going to put this in as an hourly form. So maybe you're making $9.50 per hour. So remember /HR means per hour. Moving down here, frequency of payment. How often are you paid? Some companies pay once a month. Some companies pay every 2 weeks. Some companies pay every Friday. So only you know this answer to this question in the real deal. But for this example, we might say we're going to get paid bi-weekly. Well, bi-weekly means every other. So bi meaning every other. So every other week. All right, now into the meat and potatoes of this. Placement skills, employer agrees to, and student agrees to. So let's take this first one first here. Placement skills. Simply what this means is, what exactly are you doing? What are you learning by working for this company, this farmer, while you're still in school, we're doing your SAE project? Well, for this example, we might say at the Boxview Ranch, you are going to be in control or in charge of irrigating. So let's see here. How do we want to start it off? We could say that I will be working at the, well, maybe capitalize that as a name. So first off, I'll be working at the Boxview Ranch. There I'll be moving wheel lines for the forage production. Setting, oh, not capital S, hand line for row crops. Those row crops might be potatoes, onions, so forth. Alright, what else might you be doing there? Well, are you going to keep records of what you're doing? Yeah, certainly. You might need to be keeping accurate records. So I will keep accurate record or row records of all work completed and items related to ranch management. Many times it's important that you communicate with the foreman or a ranch owner as to what exactly is happening on the ranch out there. So if you're moving wheel lines around and you are moving sets and you're letting a set run for a 6-hour set or an 8-hour set, or maybe maybe it doesn't take a very long set. Maybe the water pulls up and you're only setting it for 3 hours. But you want to keep records of that, of when you started a field, when you moved the wheel line. All that helps to go into management practices. Maybe you're adding fertilizer. How many gallons of fertilizer did you add on that set? Those are all good things that you might add into that. Okay. So this is a detailed list of all things that you do at your place of employment. Let's move down here to the next one. What does your employer agree to do? You as an employee have certain obligations, and so does your employer. Good night, Lex. Your employer may agree and has certain obligations, such as employer agrees to provide bi-weekly payment. So you're going to get paid every 2 weeks for services that you do or you work for them. Next, the employer is often going to provide safety training. You may have heard of OSHA or different organizations that surround, that's the Occupational Safety Hazard Administration. OSHA was developed with the employee in mind, making sure that you have a safe workplace. So employer agrees, and they're often going to provide you safety training of how to do the job correctly. Here you also might look into what else are they going to agree with there. Are they going to provide you with shade and access to a restroom? What else might they provide you? They provide shade, access to a restroom, and they might provide you with breaks. And maybe you get 2 10-minute breaks and back up here, 30-minute lunch break for every 8 hours worked. Okay, so these are things that your employer agrees to do. Now, if you need tools to complete your job, maybe your employer is going to provide you with all the necessary hand tools. So my employer is going to provide me with all necessary hand tools to complete my tasks. All right, let's move on down here. Student agrees to. What do you as a student agree to do? Well, I'm going to let you run with this one, but I'm going to give you a few examples. Be punctual. Show up on time. Communicate. Work hard. Ask questions. Okay, now I don't want to see this on yours. You need to expand upon that, put those into complete sentences. I gave you some ideas there for how to do that. All right, So that is the placement agreement, slightly different than the ownership agreements that we worked on last week. All right, then go ahead and hit save when you are done, and you'll see that it pops up right down here. All right, like I said, we are going to look at journals as well. So we have a little bit of quite a bit to do today. Journals. If you'll notice here, it looks very similar to the budget. The one thing that is very different from the budget is the journal is what actually happens. So you're going to log the exact date that transaction takes place, and you're going to log the exact price and the exact amount of hours. On the budget, we did a lot of estimating. We figured that it might cost us $50 per head to feed our goats. Remember those awesome goats? Well, now it's time. We're going to actually plug in and see how much it's really going to cost us. So, remember I said, oh, let me see, I'm going to probably get my goats sometime in May. So let's say it happened to be May 21st, 2010. Livestock Broker Project, good. This time we are going to actually purchase those awesome goats. Now, let's say we still got 20 goats. Sure did. Now, this time though, how many goats or how much do we pay for them? I figured I could get them bought for at least $100 or less. Turns out, I talked him down. I got them purchased for $90 a head. Oh, description, head, that's right. Amount, remember, leave it blank, just like the budget. But it took me 2 hours. I had to go drive down there and get them. So here we go. We're going to take 2 hours to go get them, and we're going to hit save. Well, that saved me about $200 in my project, right? Originally, I had budgeted for $2,000. Hey, that's good. We're ahead of budget. All right. So, what other things do we have in there? Well, we had some feed. I bet. Well, shoot. I bought those goats on the 21st. Maybe I forgot that I actually went and bought feed the day before, so I had something for them when they got there. So, we're going to purchase a grass hay for them. And I'm going to purchase 10 bales of it. And we're going to say that I paid $6 a bale for those grass hay. The grass hay. What did I say the unit was? Oh, bales, that's right. The amount, remember, is going to be blank. And it was local. I got it within an hour. Okay. Go ahead and hit save. You'll notice that it pops up right down here. So I got my feed. I got $60 worth of hay for my 20 awesome meat goats. All right. Now we're going to keep going in, and you're going to get a sheet there, and it's going to have all the different things that you need to plug in for your market goats. And we are going to continue on. So I'm going to do one more example before we check out for the day. You know, it happened to be that, about a week in, I had to go into Coastal and purchase some veterinary supplies because one of my goats got his head caught in the fence. So I went in and I got some Blue Coat, which is a medicated spray to help heal up wounds, and I bought 1 can of it, and that can was $15 of Blue Coat. Took me 2 hours to run up to Klamath and back, and I'm gonna hit save. So that ran under the category of vet medicine, and I bought a can of Blue Coat. All right, so there is some of your examples there. Don't forget, you do need to sell your goats at the end of it, right? Just like in the budget, you're going to come down here, sales, and how much you sold them for. Okay, and I'll be watching for you. All right, folks, ask questions as you have them. Good luck. Talk to you later.